The story of Nikola Tesla, the man who invented the future. Chapter 1. A Stormy Night in the Mountains. On a stormy night in July 1856, a baby boy was born in a small village called Smiljan. Today, this village is in Croatia. At that time, it was part of the Austrian Empire. Thunder crashed outside. Rain fell hard on the roof. The midwife, a woman who helps babies come into the world, said the storm was a bad sign. The baby's mother did not agree. She said, "He will be a child of light, not a child of storm." That baby was Nikola Tesla. Nikola's father was a priest. He worked for the Serbian Orthodox Church. He wanted Nikola to become a priest too. Nikola's mother was different. She never went to school, but she was very smart. She built small tools and machines for the house. She could remember long poems perfectly. Nikola always said his mother gave him his gift for invention, creating new things. The family was not rich. They lived a simple life in the countryside. Nikola had 3 sisters and 1 older brother named Dane. Dane was smart and everyone loved him. Nikola looked up to him. But when Nikola was only 5 years old, Dane died in a terrible accident. The family never fully recovered. Nikola felt he had to work twice as hard. He wanted to make his parents proud for 2 sons instead of 1. Young Nikola grew up in a world without electricity. People used candles for light. They used horses for travel. Life moved slowly. But Nikola's mind did not move slowly at all. From a young age, he saw pictures in his head. He could imagine a machine before he built it. He later said he could build entire inventions in his mind, test them, and fix them, all before touching a single tool. This skill would change his life. As a boy, Nikola loved to read. He read every book he could find, sometimes in secret, by candlelight. His father did not always approve. He wanted Nikola to focus on religion, not science. But Nikola was fascinated, very interested by machines, water wheels, and electricity. He built small water wheels in the local stream. He dreamed of harnessing, controlling, and using the power of nature. School was not easy for young Tesla. He suffered from strange visions. Bright flashes of light would appear before his eyes. Sometimes, these visions came with real memories, so real he could not tell what was imagination and what was reality. Doctors today think this may have been a form of synesthesia when the brain mixes different senses together. For Tesla, this unusual mind was both a gift and a burden, a heavy problem to carry. At 17, Tesla became very sick with cholera, a dangerous disease. He almost died. While he was sick in bed, his father made him a promise. If Nikola got better, his father would let him study engineering, not religion. Nikola recovered, and his father kept his word. This promise changed the direction of his whole life. Tesla left his small village and went to study at the Austrian Polytechnic in Graz. This was a big change. Graz was a real city with gas lamps, busy streets, and university halls full of ambitious young men. Tesla worked incredibly hard. He often studied 20 hours a day. His professors were amazed by his energy. But this hard work had a cost. Tesla later suffered a breakdown, a time when the mind and body become too tired to continue from working too much. During his studies, Tesla saw a machine called a Gram dynamo. It used direct current, or DC, electricity. Tesla noticed a problem. Sparks flew from part of the machine. His professor said this problem could never be fixed. Tesla disagreed. He believed there was a better way to make electricity. This idea would stay in his mind for years. It would become one of the greatest inventions in history. By the end of his school years, young Tesla was full of dreams. He dreamed of electric motors that spun without sparks or noise. He dreamed of sending power across long distances. He dreamed of lighting entire cities. He did not know it yet, but he was about to leave Europe. He was about to travel across the ocean to a new and growing country called America. There, his strange and brilliant mind would finally find room to grow. Chapter 2: Crossing the Ocean to a New World. In 1884, Tesla arrived in New York City. He had 4 cents in his pocket, some poems, and a letter of introduction. The letter was for a famous inventor named Thomas Edison. It said simply, "I know two great men, and you are one of them. The other is this young man." Tesla was ready to work hard and prove his ideas were correct. New York in the 1880s was loud, busy, and full of energy. Horses pulled carriages through crowded streets. Factories filled the air with smoke. Immigrants arrived every day, hoping for a better life. Electric lights were just beginning to appear, glowing in shop windows like magic. It was the perfect place for a man with electric dreams. Edison hired Tesla to work in his company. At first, things went well. Edison gave Tesla difficult problems to solve, and Tesla solved them quickly. But there was a deep disagreement between them. Edison believed in direct current, or DC electricity. Tesla believed alternating current, or AC electricity, was much better. AC could travel long distances without losing power. DC could not. Edison offered Tesla a large reward, $50,000, if he could improve Edison's DC motors and generators. Tesla worked for months. He succeeded completely. But when he asked for the money, Edison laughed. He said it was only an American joke. Tesla was furious. He quit his job immediately. This moment created a rivalry competition between two people or groups that would shape the future of electricity. After leaving Edison, life became very hard for Tesla. For a time, he had no money at all. He worked digging ditches in the street, earning just $2 a day. It was humiliating work for a brilliant engineer. But Tesla never stopped thinking about his AC motor. Even while digging in the dirt, his mind was building machines that did not yet exist. Fortune finally changed. Tesla met an engineer who introduced him to important businessmen. These men agreed to fund his ideas. In 1887, Tesla started his own laboratory. There, he built his AC induction motor. This motor did not need brushes or sparks. It ran smoothly and efficiently. It was exactly the invention he had imagined years earlier, back in Graz. Soon, an important businessman named George Westinghouse heard about Tesla's motor. Westinghouse ran his own electric company. He believed strongly in AC power, too. In 1888, Westinghouse bought Tesla's patents for a huge sum of money. This partnership gave Tesla the resources he needed. It also gave Westinghouse a powerful weapon in the growing battle for electricity. This battle became known as the War of Currents. Edison's DC system was already used in some cities, but it had one big weakness. DC power could only travel about 1 mile before it became weak. AC power could travel over 100 miles with no problem. This meant fewer power stations were needed. AC was clearly the future. But Edison would not accept defeat easily. Edison began a public campaign against AC power. He said it was dangerous. He wanted people to fear alternating current. He even helped create the first electric chair using AC electricity to scare the public. This was a dark and difficult period. Tesla had to defend his invention, not just in laboratories, but in newspapers and public opinion too. Despite the difficulties, Westinghouse and Tesla did not give up. They knew that one day the public would see the truth about AC power. They needed one big opportunity, one moment to show the whole world what alternating current could really do. That opportunity was coming soon, and it would be bigger than anyone expected. Chapter 3: Lighting Up the World. In 1893, a huge event took place in Chicago. It was called the World's Fair. Millions of visitors would come to see new inventions from around the world. Whoever powered this fair would win enormous fame. Both Edison's company and the Westinghouse Tesla team fought hard for the contract. In the end, Westinghouse and Tesla won. This was Tesla's moment to shine. His AC system lit up the entire fair with almost 100,000 light bulbs. Visitors walked through the fairgrounds at night, amazed. Buildings glowed like castles made of light. For many people, this was their very first time seeing electric light. It felt like magic. It felt like the future had arrived. The success at the Chicago World's Fair proved that AC power was safe and powerful. Soon after, Tesla and Westinghouse won an even bigger project. They were chosen to build a massive power station at Niagara Falls. This project would use the incredible force of falling water to generate electricity. It was one of the biggest engineering projects of the century. In 1896, the power station began sending electricity to the city of Buffalo, 26 miles away. It worked perfectly. This proved, once and for all, that AC power could travel long distances easily. Tesla's vision had become reality. Alternating current became the standard system used around the world. It is still the system we use in our homes today. With this success, Tesla became famous. Newspapers wrote about him constantly. He was invited to fancy dinners with rich and powerful people. He became friends with famous writers and thinkers. He was known for his elegant style, his good manners, and his fascinating conversations about science and the future. But Tesla's mind never rested. He was already dreaming of new inventions. He experimented with X-rays before most scientists understood them. He built early radio technology. He even created remote-controlled boats, which amazed audiences who thought it must be magic or a trick. Tesla always looked toward tomorrow, never satisfied with today's success. However, not everything went smoothly. Tesla had a serious rival named Guglielmo Marconi, an Italian inventor. Both men were working on wireless communication, or radio. In 1901, Marconi successfully sent a radio signal across the Atlantic Ocean. He became world famous for this achievement. Tesla believed Marconi had used his own patented ideas. This created bitter feelings between them for many years. Around this time, Tesla began a huge and ambitious project called Wardenclyffe Tower. He wanted to build a tower that could send electricity through the air without any wires at all. He imagined a world where anyone, anywhere, could receive free energy and information. It was an incredible dream, far ahead of its time. Tesla convinced a wealthy banker named J.P. Morgan to fund this project. Construction began on Long Island, New York, but the project cost far more money than expected. Morgan grew worried and impatient. When Marconi succeeded with his own wireless radio, Morgan lost faith in Tesla's tower completely. He refused to give any more money. Without funding, Wardenclyffe Tower stood unfinished. Workers were sent home. The great dream slowly collapsed. Tesla was devastated. He had poured his heart, his time, and his reputation into this project. Now it sat abandoned, an empty symbol of a future that never arrived. This failure marked a difficult turning point in his life. Chapter 4: The Lonely Genius and His Legacy. After the failure of Wardenclyffe Tower, Tesla's life changed forever. He lost most of his money. He moved between hotels in New York City, often unable to pay his bills. The bright, celebrated inventor of the 1890s slowly became a lonelier, more private man. He continued working, but his big financial backers had disappeared. Despite his money troubles, Tesla never stopped inventing. He continued to write papers about new ideas, including concepts for radar, wireless power, and even a theoretical death ray for defense. Some of his later ideas seemed impossible for the technology of his time. Scientists were not always sure which of his claims were real breakthroughs and which were dreams too big to build. Tesla lived a very unusual daily life. He never married. He said his work was his only wife. He developed a deep love for animals, especially pigeons. Every day, he fed pigeons in the park near his hotel. He cared for a white pigeon that he said he loved as a man loves a woman. This gentle side of Tesla surprised many people who only saw him as a distant, mysterious genius. As the years passed, Tesla became more isolated. He developed strange habits. He counted his steps carefully. He avoided touching round objects. He insisted on doing tasks in multiples of three. Despite these unusual behaviors, his mind remained sharp until the very end. He continued to think about energy, physics, and the future of humanity. On January 7th, 1943, Nikola Tesla died alone in his hotel room in New York City. He was 86 years old. A hotel maid found him 2 days later. He died with very little money and few possessions. It was a quiet, sad ending for a man who had once lit up an entire World's Fair and changed how the whole planet used electricity. For many years after his death, Tesla was not as famous as other inventors, like Edison. His name faded from popular memory, even though his inventions were everywhere. But slowly, over the decades, people began to rediscover his incredible story. Scientists, engineers, and writers realized just how far ahead of his time Tesla truly was. Today, Tesla is remembered as one of history's greatest inventors. The electric car company Tesla, Inc., was even named after him. The unit used to measure magnetic fields is called a Tesla in his honor. Museums, movies, and books celebrate his life and his imagination. Streets and squares across the world carry his name. Why does Tesla still matter today? Because almost every time we turn on a light, use a phone, or plug in a device, we are using ideas he helped create. Alternating current, the very system he fought so hard to defend, still powers our homes, our cities, and our modern lives more than a century later. Tesla's story also teaches an important lesson. Great ideas do not always bring great rewards right away. Tesla lost money. He lost business deals. He sometimes lost the credit he deserved. But he never lost his imagination, and he never stopped dreaming about a better, brighter future for everyone. In the end, that dream came true, even if he could not fully enjoy it himself. Nikola Tesla began his life on a stormy night in a small village. He ended his life quietly, alone in a city hotel room. But between those two moments, he changed the world forever. His light still shines in every wire, every motor, and every glowing bulb around us today. Vocabulary Review. Let's review 8 important words from this story. The first word is invention. This means creating something new that did not exist before. In the story, we read that Nikola always said his mother gave him his gift for invention. The second word is fascinated, which means very interested in something. We learned that Tesla was fascinated by machines, water wheels, and electricity. The third word is burden, meaning a heavy problem or difficulty to carry. The story explains that Tesla's unusual mind was both a gift and a burden. The fourth word is furious, which means extremely angry. When Edison refused to pay him, Tesla was furious. He quit his job immediately. The fifth word is rivalry, meaning strong competition between two people or groups. The story says this disagreement created a rivalry that would shape the future of electricity. The sixth word is patent, which means the legal ownership of an invention. We learned that Westinghouse bought Tesla's patents for a huge sum of money. The seventh word is devastated, meaning extremely sad and disappointed. After his big project failed, Tesla was devastated. The eighth and final word is isolated, meaning alone or separated from other people. In his later years, Tesla became more isolated, living quietly with only his memories and his pigeons for company. These 8 words, invention, fascinated, burden, furious, rivalry, patent, devastated, and isolated, will help you talk about ambition, competition, and emotion in English. That brings us to the end of Nikola Tesla's amazing story. Try using these new words in your own sentences today. Talk about someone who fascinates you or a dream you feel devastated about losing. Practice a little every day, and your English will grow stronger. Thank you so much for learning with us. See you in the next video.